Reading 45 plays and then trying to judge them objectively, dispassionately, is not an easy task, especially since you don't get the opportunity to put your head together with the other judges, simply because you don't know who they are. Three or four things occurred to me. Firstly, there is an eagerness in most cases and in most content to refer to contemporary realities, social realities, political realities. Secondly, there is also a kind of eagerness to get away from the straightforward narrative form. Sometimes this happens successfully, sometimes not so successfully. One of the pitfalls I discovered, it seemed to me, is that sometimes attention is not paid to the nuts and bolts of staging, of how what difficulties a producer or a director might have. So a greater consciousness of this might help. The language, the use of the English language was by and far very smooth, very fluent, very little sounded forced or artificial, so that was good. A few of the plays, of course, were written in proper Charles's English. So that's about it. Lastly, I'd like to say, that as far as the first, second, third positions are concerned, these are the subjective opinions of three people who are supposed to know what they're doing. But plays that have not come into this first, second, third positions, the playwrights should not lose heart or feel disappointed. The thing to do, the most important thing, is to get the work on the stage. And the very best of luck with that.
Well, I am a hard taskmaster. The judges were not given the names of the playwrights or the country that they came from. They each had to read all 45 plays, and they didn't know who the other judges were. So the grades they gave each play were their own personal choices. And this is how we arrived at this year's finalist. Now, without further ado, I will hand you over to our narrator, Shumantra Ghoshal, and he will introduce you to the finalists of SPA 2024.
Our first play this afternoon is Lhasa by Bettina Gracias. It is about Ahma, a traditional Tibetan woman who is fighting her own personal war against the Chinese occupation of Tibet. Scene 1, Ahma's guest house. A traditional Tibetan house. There is a large brass Buddha standing by the door. Tibetan prayer flags hang across the room. It is late at night. In semi-darkness, Ahma is praying in front of a small altar with a Buddha, incense, and a photo of the Dalai Lama on it. Someone bangs on the door. She stops dead and listens motionless.
Hello? Wakey, wakey! Hello? Rise and shine! You have a guest! Hello?
The man opens the letterbox and tries to peer in. It snaps shut on him.
Ah! Door just bit me!
Ahma starts to clear away the things from her altar and hide them under the floorboards. The man kicks the front door. The door flies open, bangs the guy on the head, and flies shut again.
Ah! That hurt!
He tries to open the door again, but it's firmly locked shut.
Open door. I am guest. Sign say guest house.
The man gives the door a kick, almost splintering the wood. The panel flies back and hits him on the leg.
Fucking door kick me. I can report for assault. What sort of fucking guest house you are?
Ahma takes out an old, dusty bottle from under the floorboards. She examines the bottle, uses her sleeve to wipe off the dust, walks to the bar, and puts the bottle down. It makes a sound.
Ah, I hear you. I know someone there. I smell incense. Praying are you? I can report you for illegal acts.
He shakes the door, and suddenly it opens with ease. A Chinese man in his late 40s stumbles in. The door slams shut behind him.
That door, dangerous. You should have fixed before it kills someone. I am guest. I want room, drink and food. I can pay. What you have?
Nothing.
The shelves of the bar are empty, but he notices the bottle.
What is that? It's on your bar.
So are you.
Yes. You pour me some, huh? Why you run guest house if you know like guests?
This house always been guest house.
Ah, so house let me in, huh? First it bite me, then it hit me, then it kicked me, then it let me in. Just like woman. Pour me a drink. Money no object.
Ahma gets out a glass and puts it on the bar. Then she opens the bottle and pours from it.
I think you beautiful once. Just like house. You smile, you beautiful again. This drink can. Another?
And with that, he falls backwards, landing on the floor, dead. Glass still in hand. A trapdoor pops up in response to his fall. Ahma bends down and takes the glass out of his hand with difficulty. She starts to rummage in his pockets. He has a wallet which is full of money. There is a new phone and an expensive watch. She then takes the man by his armpits and with great difficulty drags him across the floor to the open trap door and pushes him in. He slides down with a crash and the trap door slams shut. Is From All That Matters by Meera Sitaraman. A murder that happened in 1984 has finally received a court hearing in 2024. Based on a number of true events, this is true fiction. We are in the Batwa police station. Inspector Rajan is sitting on his chair. Sub-Inspector Vishnu enters alone.
Sir, this is Malik Ram. Come inside. We are not arresting you.
Don't worry. Come inside. We only want to ask you a question. Sit.
I didn't do anything, Saheb.
That is the problem.
Answer my question. Why did you not answer the court order?
Saheb, there is some mistake.
What mistake?
Saheb, that order is for my father.
So?
Sir, he died 8 years ago.
Then why did you not declare that?
Saheb, I have death certificate.
ठीक है. But why did you not send it to them?
I thought they will know that my father is dead.
How? His ghost will come and tell the judge, whisper it in his ears. How?
Not like that, Saheb.
Vishnu?
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Yeah.
did you go to the house?
Yes, sir. We checked the house, sir.
Huh?
He was not there.
I was there.
No, not you, your father, Baba.
Why will he be there? He is dead.
But there is a photo of him, there, a photo on the wall with a mala, it says it's him.
It is him.
Listen, okay, you will have to go to the court.
But for what, Sahab? We haven't done anything. That my father is dead and I don't understand.
Okay. Hey, hello, what did he do?
He also didn't do anything, Sahab.
He means what work did he do? Why?
Oh, he used to drive a tractor for a landowner. Sahab, he was an innocent man. I didn't even know that what this is for. Please.
He has committed a murder.
What?
Murder! He killed a cow in 1984.
1984?
Yes. You see, the case has just come to the court and your father has been summoned.
Sahab, I don't know anything about this.
Hey.
I promise. He couldn't have killed anything.
See, I have the case file right over here. See, on the night of December 13, 1984, your father was returning from Girdarpur where he met the cow. On Shamshan Road near the rail fatak. See, and your own father's words these are here. I'll tell you. See, open quote. Your father said, cow was in front of me. For cow, I was in front of her. I turned tractor to the right. Cow turned in my direction. Again, we were in front of each other. Then I turned tractor to left. Again, cow turned in my direction. Close quote. Your father and cow were doing ghumar in the middle of the road. Again, your father said, open quote, Saheb, I put on the brake, but the cow did not put on the brake. She came fast and hit my tractor. She did it on purpose, Saheb. I did not do anything. Suicide. Saheb, suicide. Close quotes. How long ago was it?
But Sahab, it was so long ago, Sahab.
I know, 1984, but court cases take very long.
Sahab, if we show the death certificate, it should get resolved, na?
It should. You should go to the court and show it. Hopefully the other party will drop the case. Sir, we have a problem. What problem now? Sir, according to the records here, your father has been dead and he's been voting for all these years. He's been voting for all the elections since the claimed death. Yes. Really? Your father is Bhagwan Kumar, na? Batwao district, na? Tilak number 7A491.
Yes.
He's been voting for all the elections.
Sahab, this make no sense.
Dekho, now the death certificate will not help you. There will be another case on you. Voter fraud.
Sahab, he never voted when he was alive. Why will he vote after he is dead?
Not why, Malik Ram. How? How can he vote after he is dead? Also, why did he not vote when he was not dead?
I don't know, Sahab. His name was never on the list.
So, basically what you are saying is, when he was alive, he was not on the list. But when he died, he is now on the list.
There must be some mistake, sir, please.
Yeah. Everything is a mistake. Our mistake. Court order is our mistake. Voting, our mistake. Government, our mistake. Soon that cow will also be our mistake.
No, Sahab, I can assure you, he is dead.
Okay, where is proof?
Death certificate.
Will not do. See, death certificate useless unless it is certified by all other departments. Like, it doesn't stand for proof. Voting department, ration card, bank,
Sab,
Aadhaar.
I don't understand, sir.
You see, I'll explain very simply. You will have to go to the court.
Court.
If the certificate has been registered properly, this case might not have come up only. Now, unfortunately, you will have to pay the penalties.
What penalties?
Animal cruelty penalty, absence from court penalty, voter fraud penalty, and where is the tractor?
I don't know, sir. My father sold it.
Sold it. When?
I think in 1998.
Your father sold it in 19. Make a note. Make
Yes,
a
sir,
note.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
His signatures are on the sale of the murder weapon.
Murder weapon?
He killed the cow with it, na?
But Sahab, the cow committed suicide, na? Under the tractor. How the cow didn't put the brake? My father did.
What nonsense! It is a murder weapon. The murder weapon.
Sahab, you are scaring me.
See, the lawyer will also say the same thing.
What?
That your father sold the murder weapon.
Sahab, what should I do?
Sir, maybe we can help him.
How? How?
He can file a case against the election commission.
You're mad or what? This is not a movie. Vishnu, find out who's filed the case and get their number. Find out.
Yes,
Call
sir,
them,
yes,
call
yes.
them and see if that they can see some reason and drop this case. We are working for you. Huh?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello? May I speak to Ramesh Yadav? This is Sub Inspector Vishnu from Batwa Police Station. Hello. Arey, please don't cry. Hello, he's not done anything wrong. Hello, can you please just call him? No. We are not going to arrest him, Auntie. Amiji, please just call him. Hello.
Hey. Give me. I'll talk. Give. Hey, give me. Hello? Ramesh Yadav? I'm Inspector Rajan from Bathua Police Station. Oh. Okay. You are Umesh Yadav. Ramesh Yadav? Coma. His father has been in coma for 3 months. 1 minute. Did you get court order for 1984 case filed by your father Ramesh Yadav? Okay, Did you tell them your father is in coma? Oh, yes. The case was filed under Bhagwan Kumar, but he has passed away in 2015. So, Umesh ji, tell me one thing. Do you want to pursue the case? Umesh ji? Hello?
What happened?
Ramesh Yadav just passed away.
What?
Heart attack.
Thank God.
Our next scene is from Cow and Court by Parashar Kulkarni. This is a play that blurs the boundaries of crime, madness, and religion and reveals the perennial fragility of law. It is September 1920 and we are in the Bombay High Court. The British Chewing Gum Company has been burnt to the ground. Scene 1. Ram Prasad, that's me, the defendant, is standing in the dock. The prosecutor, usher, clerk, constable, and members of the public are seated when the judge enters.
All right.
Milord, the clerk will say it. You don't have to say it. Yes. Yes, milord. Without further ado, let me summarize the events that led to the defendant's arrest as detailed in Annexure 2 of the police report, sir. The Lieutenant Governor of Bombay, Sir MacDonald, diligently led this investigation. The defendant, Ram Prasad, is the prime accused in instigating a riot that led to the death of 3 persons, the arrest of 53, and a material loss of over 9,000 rupees. This man. 7 days before the riot, the defendant delivered a public address in the compound of a public school. Violent extremists and anarchists attended it. They called the Queen Meat-Eating Victoria. Meat-Eating Victoria. They beat up a person for being supporter of the crown. The man suffered a fracture in his leg and stitches in his scalp. He lost money and goods. His own umbrella was broken on his own head.
It would have been worse if his own head was broken on his own umbrella.
Yes. Very funny, sir. You see, the next day, a report was planted in the Bombay Samachar. Report. Meat in chewing gum. British company insults Indians. Can you imagine? A mob broke open the gates, went up to the first floor, and set fire to the premises of the British Chewing Company, India Limited. The defendant is charged under Section 121, Section 153A, and Section 300 of the Penal Code. The crime is punishable by death. Yes. On 2 counts. Yes.
You want to kill this man?
That decision is yours, my lord.
Maybe by hanging on the banyan tree, the tree of life.
My lord, I am only the public prosecutor. These are administrative matters that you can take up with the jailer. Please allow me to present a submission of the British Chewing Gum Company about the contents of the chewing gum. It will leave no uncertainty in the mind concerned that the defendant spread a false rumor. If, with your permission.
Can you read it
Yes,
for everyone's sake?
Yes, my lord. The British Chewing Gum Company, India Limited, henceforth referred to as BGCEIL, is the Indian company registered in Bombay, registration number 124323. The holding company, British Chewing Gum Company, UK Limited, henceforth referred to as BCC, is not responsible for the acts, conducts, omissions, or any lapse of judgment attributed directly or indirectly to the employees of BCGCIL. BCC confirms that the chewing gum supplied by BCC does not contain any meat products and adheres to the highest British standards suitable for all Her Majesty's subjects. Yes.
Defendant, so far you have refused representation. For the last time, do you wish to reconsider?
My lord, a speech transcript is annexed for your convenience. An agent of the Bombay City Police recorded it. Let me point to the line 20, where the phrase meat-eating Victoria appears. There.
But she is dead.
What? When did that happen?
Our queen is dead.
She was our goddess Lakshmi, no?
She died a long time ago. It is King George now, the 5th.
Is this George a meat-eating George?
They're all meat-eating. They like their Sunday roasts, no?
My lord, with your kind permission, with your grace, with your good...
Get on with it. We don't have all day.
My lord, your humble servant would be grateful if you could enlighten us all regarding a concern. Will the horse carriages be called George now or Victoria?
While this is unrelated to the case before us today, let me confirm that the carriages will not be renamed. But it does make one curious. Why are these horses called Victoria in the first case?
God forbid, if the queen were alive and discovered that her subjects in a faraway land had likened her face to a horse. But the queen can resemble many things. Yet no blasphemy there, but to call her a horse? Has this ever been announced on this land? If not, let me announce an ordinance.
My lord, your honor, your respect, with all due respect, ordinances cannot be made in such a manner. They cannot. There is a protocol, there is a procedure. Besides, the horses are not called Victoria. It is the whole thing, carriage included. It is an unofficial term for that mode of transport.
That makes it even worse, doesn't it? Tell me, which parts of the carriage resemble Queen Victoria? I mean, I admit the Queen was quite buxom, but to be called an entire carriage?
My lord, is that essential to the trial at hand?
To cut a long story short, motion, objection, overruled.
Which objection, my lord? My lord, why are we rising?
That one might smile and be a villain. Court adjourned.
Our last scene for this evening is from Ganesh Kamatham's Terrarium, an epic performance. A post-dramatic theatre troupe has been invited to perform an episode from one of our very famous epics for an international cultural program in the newly formed island republic of Katsonga, which, as it so happens, is embroiled in conflict and civil unrest as they arrive. Stranded at the airport without their luggage, their wits, or a sense of propriety, they struggle to live and try not to die by their credo of "the show must go on." The setting, a forest-themed airport spa on the island republic of Katsonga. Time, the present, sounds of the jungle, the foliage casts unsettling shadows, lights up on Janaki in a red sari. She is alone.
If I am steadfast in my virtue, unwavering in my commitment, surely my Lord will come to me. Here, under this parijat tree, I sit with my sorrow.
She sits with her sorrow.
The demon king has made indecent advances towards me. His ogress attendants have threatened to eat me. In 2 months he intends to marry me. I haven't eaten or slept. I'm considering hanging myself upon this tree branch with a braid of my hair. Yet my left eye, my left shoulder, and my left thigh are quivering. These auspicious signs and good omens, aren't they? So some relief must be near at hand. I shall lay me down to sleep.
She lays her down to sleep.
But before I lay down to sleep, I must sing of my distress.
Skip the song.
Huh? Skip
Yes.
the song.
Yes, just go from the twitching.
The what?
The twitching things, eyes.
You mean quivering?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay. Yet my left eye, my left shoulder, and my left thigh are twitching. Quivering.
Don't paraphrase.
I'm just going to take it from me laying down to sleep now.
And she lays herself down to sleep. Silence.
Cue.
Silence.
Cue.
A figure in an exotic monkey mask is visible through the foliage. A great grey ape. The figure spectacularly leaps out from the trees, lands next to Janaki, and strikes a Veera pose.
I had travelled far and wide to arrive at this grove, the night garden, this place. The buxom lady I had spied, nestled in the arms of the demon king, is not the lady I seek. But lo, here I had spied a lady most noble. She hath repelled the advances of the demon king. She hath not eaten a morsel and is emaciated. She hath fallen in distress, clothed in a most modest mottled yellow garment. Shall I reveal myself to her, even as I hath concealed myself in the branches of this Parijata tree?
Stop! Stop! You're meant to see the lines from the tree.
Mano nods, retreats into the shadows of the foliage.
Even as I hath concealed myself in the branches of this Parijata tree.
Q? Q?
Enter!
Like you?
Yes!
Oh,
Mano spectacularly leaps out from the trees, lands next to Janaki, and strikes a Veera pose, then crumples to the floor.
What? What?
I hath got a catch. Ow, 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 ow.
You hath done no warm-up?
I hath drunk no water. I hath done no warm-up. I hath flubbed these Victorian lines.
Shaker, the writer-director, enters.
Elizabethan. I'm sorry, it's Victorian.
What?
It's not Victorian, it's Elizabethan. It's meant to be archaic, you know. It's a tension between the literary and the spoken word. So we're going for a kind of vernacular.
Okay.
A kind of evocation of the authentic Sanskrit, but in English. Hence the archaic Elizabethan quality to the character's speech.
But you see, I'm still struggling with some of these lines.
Throw away the words that stick out. I know you're enunciating or whatever, but we don't want to see the seams, you know.
What seems?
The seams, the seams, the inner process of the performer. We have to go through that and then out the other side. You know what I mean.
No.
We have to strive for authenticity.
Yes.
We have to struggle for honesty.
Yes.
So, we don't want to see the strive and the struggle.
Yes.
We want to see the outcome.
Yes.
So that's what I mean when I say, throw it away.
Throw it away.
There's no need to show us the seams.
No need to show us. What seems?
Just enter on Parijata tree. Okay?
Okay.
And warm up before the big jump.
Okay.
Big toe up on the Veera.
Big toe up on the
And-
leader. Got it.
And throw it away.
I think maybe I'd like to struggle with Parijata a little bit, you know.
Yes, sure, but throw it away.
I'll throw it away.
Great.
Yes.
Shall we run it again?
Yes.
Okay.
They take their positions. Shaker exits.
The demon king had made indecent advances towards me. I have not eaten or slept. I'm considering hanging myself. My left eye, my left shoulder, and my right thigh are quivering.
She collapses. Manu leaps out from the trees, lands next to Janaki, and strikes a Veera pose with big toe down. Then up. Then down. Then up again. He performs his entire speech with mudras. Mano touches Janaki's feet. Janaki awakens, startled, unsure. Mano gently takes off his mask. They look at each other, a wordless moment. Shekhar enters, watches them, nods. Janaki and Mano look at Shekhar.
Very good. Thank you. Very powerful. A charged moment, an almost magical encounter, a kind of bridge between two worlds. Two fluid identities, personas. Very good. You paraphrased a bit.
I'm exhausted.
Yes, sure. But from an internal perspective, how was it for you?
I got through my bit. I was waiting for the lines. I thought he's late on his cue. Then I just fell asleep. And then I got up.
Right. I could see the method. And what happened to you?
I threw away the lines.
You threw the lines away.
Yes, you said, throw it away.
I did.
And that's what I
I
did.
said throw it away.
And that's what I did.
When we say you throw the line away, it's like you say the line, but you throw it away.
So you wanted to keep the lines.
Yes, I want the lines.
So I then don't throw them away.
You know, there's this moment in Hamlet, you know, where the royal amateur, a prince of Denmark, is instructing the professional actors. He says to the actor, "Speak the speech I prithee trippingly on the tongue."
Just tell me, do I keep the lines or do I throw them away?
Keep the lines.
Keep the lines, keep the lines.
But when you speak them, throw them away.
So then drop the lines.
You should drop the lines.
No.
It worked better without the lines.
It did actually, it did.
Then why did I write them at all?
To create an epic character played by an actor for an audience member that will see themselves somewhere in us. You write shitty words to give to actors to throw away. This was your idea of an experiment in post-dramatic theatre. You solipsistic shitface.
Enter Wing Commander Nambiar. He is in full uniform with an eye patch.
On behalf of the Indian ambassador, welcome to the Republic of Kazonga. I am Wing Commander Nambiar, the defense attaché with the embassy. You are with the dance troupe, yes?
Theatre troupe.
Theatre, like drama?
Yes. I am the lead creativity visionary of the troupe, writer and director. Miss Janki, in addition to being a distinguished political scientist, is an accomplished actress. And he's a clown.
We're all here to perform a play.
Yes, we are a post-dramatic English theatre troupe.
Do you know Bharatnatyam? There is something so reassuring about Bharatnatyam performances in cultural programs. You know that good girls from good families are showcasing good values. Everyone says thai, thum. Everyone keeps time. Everyone has chai and biscuit and go home.
Sorry to disappoint you.
We had a Bharatnatyam troupe scheduled to perform, but they got caught up in some Me Too scandal and cancelled their flights at the last minute, you know.
I don't have my luggage. I don't have my check-in or my hand luggage.
They said they'd give us our hand luggage.
I haven't eaten anything.
Sir, she's emaciated.
Mr. Wing Commander, sir, we are here for the Republic Day celebrations. I saw an ad in the paper for cultural programs from the Culture Ministry, and I put in an application. We got accepted.
Most likely because we were the cheapest bid.
Is she okay?
She'll be fine. It's a thing, you know.
What thing?
It's a phase. Never mind. Look, there are many things we have no control over. But what we do have control over is our performance. All things considered, we are very lucky to have been given this space.
This is torture, you know.
Yes. But we're all in the struggle for meaning together.
You are a shitty director and a shitty husband. And you are trying to make yourself feel better by doing this shitty play in this shitty place with no food. You can take your Sanskrit doctorate from wherever and shove it.
Sir, there is some comedy as well, huh? I play a talking monkey.
No Bharatnatyam?
So, all these three playwrights are very erudite and learned people with many degrees. And you can Google them and find out all about them, but I have a question I'm going to start this off with. And that is, when did each of you write your first play? And what actually inspired you to do it? Ram, since you're nearest.
This is going to be my 28th year of playwriting. So, yeah. Writers, often invisible, now having to project voice. This is my 28th year of writing. And my first play was in,
Okay, but the first one?
1996.
Okay.
When I was in school, we had to study the classic Hamlet. And my first play was a version of it called Omelette. So,
Lovely.
so that started my writing.
But you actually were inspired just to do it because of the Hamlet thing, is it?
Yeah, in fact, we had to study Shakespeare, and anybody who studied Shakespeare in school knows it's torture. And the moment you leave school and you understand it and you engage it professionally, you realize what a whole world that has, been mangled and turned into sort of, memory and recitation. So for me, playing with the material was something that I found quite interesting. Hamlet's character for me was somebody quite fascinating, somebody who was quite indecisive, and for me, just playing with that material was really my entry into it. It's many years ago now. So,
yeah, I know. What about you, Meera? This is about writers and lit lives, so I want to know how you writers actually go about these things.
So I'm an actor first
Okay.
and writer later. I think my first play that I wrote was also in school, and it was an adaptation of The Blue Carbuncle, which is a Sherlock Holmes story. But I shouldn't count that because writing roughly, I think, behind a notebook right now is not considered playwriting. But my first play that I saw being staged would have been The Canvas, which I wrote in 2011. So much younger than you are.
My God.
And the impetus was a 10-minute playwriting festival that Chennai had started called The Short and Sweet.
Okay.
Which was a great ground for people to write.
These competitions and awards do
Absolutely.
get all started. What about you, Parashar? I mean, you're teaching and God knows millions of things. His bio goes on for pages.
I think in academia you do that. I feel like you have to keep populating your stuff so that you just increase the number of pages. At some point, everyone's tired. They say, okay, here's the job. You don't want, it's too much to read. So I started some 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I submitted a film. I think my core interest is in film. I think that's where I sort of get a lot of excitement from. And I wrote this short script of 25 minutes called Little Feet. It was I sent it in 2005 to the Biennial Film Festival. It was here in New Delhi. And that got taken, and then I sort of met a number of filmmakers and stuff, and I sort of continued being really excited. And then sort of I said, maybe I study, and then I try to sort of get money from studying, and then use it to sort of balance my writing interests. So I got some fellowships and stuff, and then I continued writing, and it sort of moved in the direction of fiction. So a lot of, in fact, this car business has been going on for 12 years, 14 years now. And I've worked on Cow and Company before this, and there's one called Cow, this is Cow and Court, and then there is Cow in the Asylum, the origins of cow therapy. So it's an obsession. Doesn't sound very good, but it's been on for for now 14 years. So, and there's a series of projects, and this one, I think this one particularly I'm excited about it being, so it looked very stage-like. It looked very theatrical because there's no sort of there's no inner monologue. Of course, you can do inner monologue on stage, but still there wasn't. And then it was sort of, the camera is here and that's it. Everything is happening on the other side, and there's no movement as such. And you can see that it's completely actor-driven. And so I think actors can have fun. The three actors, it's led by these three actors, and they are having a lot of fun. And I think you can see a bit of that. So I got really excited, and I feel like.
But tell me, you all started in extremely young age. How did you all learn how to structure a play and to, did you all take any courses? Did you all do any workshops? What is it? I mean, how have you learned how to structure a play? And I feel there's no hope for me because I started at 11 and 12. Okay.
I think your workshops are really quite important, and some of the workshops that I've done, we just spoke about the tension between the literary and the playwriting. Playwriting is spelled P-L-A-Y, writing W-R-I-G-H-T. So there is an element of the right, like a shipwright or a wheelwright or a cartwright. So a lot of my workshops have been in this sort of this space of trying to understand language, trying to understand how it operates.
Who has run these workshops?
So I've had the benefit of engaging with a theatre out of the UK in quite an early stage of my career. And they had an international residency program that I was a part of. So my first experience really was training in Bangalore, my home city. And for me, one of the big transformative experiences was in 2007, where I got to meet many of the great sort of British playwrights. Martin Crimp, for example,
Yes,
who nearly threw me out of his workshop. So I did something right, obviously. And Pinter as well, and Stoppard. So for us, and also the contemporary playwrights, Simon Stevens and April DeAngelis. So there's a whole bunch of lovely, lovely writers. And what I loved about that space was really their approach to language. And, at the time, our debates tended to be a little bit more about how do you represent English on stage? Is it truly kind of a spoken, is it a truly Indian language? And I was just so annoyed with those debates. I said, come on, there's a whole, population of India that speaks English, and it's not the Queen's English, it's not Charles' English, it's an Indian English. And so I found that my idiom was really representing that, and a lot of my early work was about trying to capture that. So for me, the entry is language and how it functions not in sort of the written, but in the spoken form, and the code in which we operate, the code switching that we do in cities, the code switching that we do in performance, lingo, all of those elements. So for me, that's the entry point into it, and then of course the interest in people and behavior. And so those two give you structure. I mean, it's that curiosity that then drives you forward.
Okay, I'm getting very frightened. Okay, let's hear Meera's. How did you learn stuff? Are you already an actor? But I mean...
So, my first teacher is my director, V. Balakrishnan. He's the one who introduced me into everything theatre related. So having worked with his company for the past 16 years has been my training ground, hands-on literally. Apart from, of course, I have been a part of a wonderful workshop that was Writer's Block 4.
Okay, you too. I think both of you.
Yes.
Yeah, but different years. So, it's been an interesting journey. And I think with me, my plus point is having a theatre company with me to be able to read and listen to what is written as well and see whether it works or not. Because it's very easy to put something on paper, but then when you hear it being spoken, you feel, this doesn't work. Something's not working. So I think that has been a great ground for me. And I love stories. So for me, the first point is if I like a story, then I'm like, I want to make this a play. So I think my entry point is I want a good story, and now I'll break it up to see how we can do it.
Okay, let's hear Parashar's. How did you learn structure?
So I think a straightforward answer is I spent 2 months in a year on training. But a more sort of, I think a more sort of useful answer, I think, is that so I've been trained in academia and it's not so. Here you are sitting in the National Archives in Delhi, sitting in some archives in the British Library, for example, and you're focused on this text that you have to work with and produce something perhaps academic. But it's not obvious, the form. Like what you would see this text and you're writing, and slowly you feel, oh, you know what, this is a much more interesting story in the archives. There's a poem here which perhaps is better said on stage. And there's a set of letters that are passing between these two individuals, and a lot of it is this should be some sort of it should be put into a novel. So it's not. I think we actually reached a time now where it's not obvious. Right, I cannot pre-decide the form right away. I think we've arrived at that stage where I think now theatre you can do everything. You can do 100.
That's true.
And the same with film. You can do everything with film. And in the novel now
I'm sure that there are young writers over here who want to know how the hell you guys actually get down to writing it. But I've been told very clearly I should now throw it open to the audience. So, is there anybody in the audience who has some questions?
Throw it away, please.
So, I can't see anybody. So.
Hello everyone, my name is Sayani. My question is that two of the plays here, they told of a time when it was British India, So I just want to understand, first of all, how did you do the research for it? Like what was the training ground? And second, we are moving to a post-colonial perspective. So how do you navigate the tension between, writing, which is done post-independence and all of that, and also going back to a time when we were ruled by British India? Because, I'm interested in finding out how can the subaltern really speak. So, your take on that.
Okay, who's answering this? You're the one who's done.
Mine is all post-independent.
Hers is very much today. It's 1920. Yeah, it's
mine is 1984 onwards.
Yes. So,
with all due respect to Spivak, and the subaltern school, I think, look, language operates in a sort of lived reality, right? It's not frozen in time like you put it into a kind of a format. So I think the subaltern school was very interesting in trying to bring these marginalized voices. But I think what we really have to engage right now is contemporary reality, but in different forms. There's no compulsion, I think for a contemporary playwright, there's always pressure and tension to shape your play in a particular way. If you are writing, about contemporary reality, it must be socialist realism, it must be engaging, it must be speaking for the oppressed, and, that's a pressure that actually exists, and playwrights have to negotiate in certain ways. The other one is, okay, if I want to speak to contemporary reality, that means I have to reject the old. I have to dismiss the Mahabharats and the Ramayans and the idiom, the folk tales, and I must, do areas where black leotards and make sort of symbolic kind of movements. Neither of those is really the case. One has to negotiate and navigate between these spaces. It really depends on the individual politics of the writer and how they choose to engage this space. I think we need to not think of the post-colonial but the decolonial, which is trying to retrieve certain narratives, trying to recover certain voices, and discover an authentic idiom that speaks for Indian playwriting. Novels have been far more successful at this because critics have, framed and contextualized them very nicely within various structures. Playwriting is a bit more allied to music, so it's a little bit more difficult to sort of find these categories that work. Anyway, I can rant about I can rant about the anti-literary for a while, but I hope that answers some of your questions.
Okay, anybody else with any questions?
So I wanted to ask that if there's any form of writing for you all when it comes to playwriting. For example, when you sit down and write poetry, there's free verse and some other genres. So is there any particular genre that interests you the most, or simply the form that you choose to write when you sit down and make sure that now I'll be writing a play?
Who is this addressed to? All of them?
Yeah. In general, in general.
Good luck. Okay, go ahead. Go on, Meera.
I think for me personally, when I start writing a play, I don't know what language is going to come out. To be very honest, like for me, like I said, for me the story is first. So when I know what the story is, my brain works with very logistical reasons. Because I also come from an actor background, I know the drawbacks that we have when you have to stage something. So I think my brain automatically turns on this mode of survival. I need to be able to stage this. So what do I need to be able to stage this? Minimal sets, single setting, easier, number of actors. So then my brain divides it into scenes and that structure forms. Now when that language comes, it comes as I start writing it the way I want to tell the story. So it's not necessary that it will be very contemporary the way you and I talk. Sometimes slang comes out. When we are writing a children's play, a lot of verse automatically comes out like jingles and they can be made into songs. So I think for me, it is story that leads to the kind of language that will suit it best to stage on the space.
Yeah, here it is one. Thank you very much. I wanted to ask you, in India, we do not adapt plays for film on screen as much as we do from books and for the real piece of articles, op-ed, feature articles in various newspaper or the remakes of the already made films. Have you encountered any of such experiences and what explains that? Because in other part of the world, in UK, France and Europe and America, North America, you have a tradition of plays being converted into films. But we don't have that very much in India. What explains that?
Actually, I will beg to differ slightly there because the roots of Tamil cinema for the longest time with people like K. Balachandar was stage being taken to the screen because they were all stage actors who had become cinema actors, which is why you invariably had only a single frame. So everyone would actually stand in a straight line and the camera will just pan because that's how cinema started. So there was a time when stage plays were being taken up into cinema largely. Like entire plays were actually made into cinema. So the culture has been there. Maybe we are losing it and we need to bring it back. Because it's been
Bruce
there for
has
sure.
started doing that, haven't you, Bruce? You've started filming some of the plays.
Yeah, different context.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But sorry, is the question about the
why is it not happening?
Why it is not happening? I understand
You'll have
the
to
tradition,
get hold of some
but
cinema
I don't know
people
of
here.
any plays of the last 10 years that have been taken the rights for adaptation into a film. That's what I meant.
Oh, Agni and Barkha happened, which was Fire
Yeah,
and Rain of
that's
Girish
true.
Karnad.
I would just, I would
last 10 years.
No, I would go with you that actually there is many instances. So, Sajnani's work, for example, adapting Girish Karnad's work from plays into films. There is Mahesh Dattani who has done a lot of work from, plays into films.
Mahesh has done theatre, meaning like NT Live.
Correct.
I think
taking it
Z has
I
done
can
some
even
things. Yeah.
cite a slightly more disreputable example, which is a play that came out of writer's block, eventually made it into a film.
Oh, which one?
So it was called President is Coming by a
right.
Anubhav Pal.
Yeah.
I understand the concern, but I think it comes from not being aware of the space, and I think there are enough examples to say that people have made the transition. It's probably not well known and probably not documented well enough.
That is What about you, Parashar?
What about me?
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
No, I so one, I think perhaps these two questions that I can quickly, 2 minutes to end. So,
yes, I know 2 minutes, don't worry.
That I can sort of respond to. One about history and writing, no? There's this question about how do you sort of saddle these. And so this particular play, Cow and Court, is about a cow protection trial following a riot. And I also have an academic text. It's called Cow Union Buster, and it's just out in a journal called Labor History. And that traces, I'm a political historian, just for FYI. So that traces 100 years of cow protection rights in India, beginning from, to be precise, in Bombay city, beginning from the 1890s. And so 1893 was the first right, and then I trace it, and you see, and interesting, you take a historical view, and you find that you have some capitalists involved in cow protection. There is the Indian National Congress, before independence, involved in cow protection. After independence, the National Congress is here, and there are some individuals who spread the cow protection movement, and then the Shiv Sena comes in, and then there are the current parties. So if the lens becomes historical, suddenly you find that the story is very complicated and also very interesting. And
but have you had any doings with the cinema world? Taking any of your, how many plays have you written?
So there's Darako, which is the outside. It's not so many. They begin as scripts, and then there's no one in cinema who's interested. So they shoved away to the novel space, you know.
Okay.
And what?
Throw it away.
And throw it away. Yeah.
Yes, I know, really.
No, but Darako is a very interesting. It can be read as theatre. It's outside. You'll find it in. It's outside. It's published by Penguin, and it's also about sort of how a religious mystic emerges, and violence erupts, and then there is the decline of the religious mystic, and all around partition. So it's sort of set around the partition, and I think you'll find it interesting.
Okay, we've been told please wrap up, so we are now wrapping up.